No, that's pictures. Okay, West Virginia Folk Life. I thought it said Fork Life Center.
Folk Life. Seeking paranormal, cryptid, and ghost stories for publication.
Well, that's exciting. That's up at Fairmont.
We talked to Michael Bell on the previous episode about ghosts a little bit at the beginning. Do you, just out of curiosity, have any ghost stories, real life experiences?
Well, I went to school in Ripon, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And apparently there's ghosts that travel throughout. I mean, what college doesn't really have ghosts, in my opinion?
Yeah.
But I lived on the 3rd floor in Tri-Dorms, and you could hear a basketball bouncing a few times.
You heard it yourself?
I never heard it, no.
Okay.
But I worked in the archives when I was there,
Yeah.
so I got to read all about it, and I kind of believe it.
Okay.
I never heard it, though.
So are you a believer in ghosts or in ghost-like paranormal activity?
Maybe paranormal activity, but
Not ghosts?
yeah, probably.
Okay. And have you personally experienced any interactions with another realm or none whatsoever?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Are you open to experiencing that? Do you welcome it? Jeff is hoping that he has one this evening even.
I am.
Yeah. And you are neutral to it, or you would hope that it happens?
I am neutral.
Okay.
I would partake if it did happen.
Wow. Okay. That's big news. That's big news.
If you had Lacey here, she'd be all over that.
She's ready for
Oh,
it.
yeah. In Nashville, she even went on one of those tours and I don't know exactly where it was, but downtown, I think.
Yeah.
Going through all those places with her sister. That's her thing.
I like the ones where you sleep overnight. They try to scare the wits out of you. You probably got speakers in the walls and everything else. That'd be fun. Or it could be real.
Yeah. Well,
Could be. It's like that basketball bouncing. By the way, how do they know that that's what it was?
I guess the girl played for played for the team and then somehow passed away
I see.
relating to that.
Well, in my house, I can now reveal to you, it's been a little ways ago at night, I would occasionally hear a train whistle.
into the distance. Yeah.
Turned out, the air intake to the HVAC system wasn't big enough, and it was making a whistling noise.
Daggone it.
Yeah. We made it bigger.
Ghost.
Ashworth Heating and Cooling came and fixed the
Yeah.
ghost.
There's actually a ghost in Ripon, too, that sits over the library and watches over everybody. And there were pictures in the archives of it.
Really? And Ripon is R-I-P-P-I-N?
Just one P.
R-I-P-I-N.
Oh, sorry. R-I-P-O-N.
O-N. Ripon.
Yes. Have you ever had those, the animal cookies with the frosting?
Yeah, the
That's
frosted
from,
animal
They're
cookie.
from Ripon.
Really? They have the
Home
manufacturer
of the
there.
Republican Party as well.
Okay. Big things happening over
Yes.
there.
Like the headquarters for the state of Wisconsin is headquartered there? Republican
No.
Party?
Yeah, it's just like a little tiny house. It was the home of the Republican Party. It was founded there.
Oh, really? Ever?
The OG.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
So that's all I got.
Well, no, that's...
The cookies is a big deal.
I start to say there's several big things happening there. So, well, that's great news.
You could go to the cookie outlet and just try all the broken cookies and then see what you actually wanted to purchase.
Really? So
I was like,
you-
why don't they do that with the Girl Scout cookies right now?
Ooh.
Any broken pieces?
What is
'Cause
your
I'm selling
favorite?
Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, what's your
with my
favorite
daughter.
Girl Scout cookie?
Caramel Delights.
God almighty. Those are so good.
Caramel Delights.
No. Oh, I'm telling you, man.
What do they
Should've
look like
brought
on the
some.
outside?
The
It's
box.
just
Yeah, what
They just have,
color is
like-
the box?
purple.
Okay.
And it's just a round cookie, but it has the hole in the middle, and then it has the chocolate frosting just dripped on top of the caramel and coconut.
Yeah.
Oh, the best one. Yeah, I thought that was
think they
called
used to be
like
called something
Samoa something or other.
I
They-
think she's right.
I
Yeah,
think,
they were
yeah.
a different name.
Well, that's clearly the best one.
Yeah.
There's not even a question. If you think that a different one is the best one, you're wrong.
Do you think that's the most popular coconut treat? Because coconut gets hit and miss with people. But, man, that cookie is just... Everything is right with the world when it comes to that guy.
I kind of like coconut, but probably not better than that.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the better tasting dessert items ever made in the history
Yeah.
of the world. So
They're $6 a box right now.
Wow.
That's insane.
should be 60.
I would...
Well, it should be 5 to make your math easy. And then nobody ever carries the singles when you, like,
There it
that's
is.
that's difficult.
Them Girl Scouts price gouging us on these things.
Inflation. Why, on the last episode, you brought in canned meats and little boxes of death. Why are we not doing Girl Scout cookie tasting? Now, I could get behind a movement like that. Yeah. All right, everyone, try these Girl Scout cookies.
Which one's the best? A positive.
I'm just over here eating them.
A positive experience.
Man, that would have been.
That's a good idea. And it helps to support the Girl Scouts.
Exactly. I'm trying to do this for the children.
They've gone from $5 to $6.
Oh, poor things.
When I was a kid, I got my hair cut by a man, little barber shop up at the top of the entrance to my neighborhood. His name was Louis Woomer. Great guy. He's passed away now. I really liked him a lot. But I remember very vividly the day that the haircut went from $5 and it crossed and it said $6. It was like a momentous occasion. Woomer's is $6 now.
He had to start keeping all these ones in his drawer because of the change.
Yeah.
You'd hope people would just tip up, give the 10, and just hold on. I bet statistically the odds were higher that people were.
We did get a couple tips.
Did you? Mm-hmm. So just keep it.
Yeah. I mean, the right thing to do would be to donate it.
Wow.
But
have we even introduced Leslie yet?
Nope. Okay. We're just talking about Girl Scout cookies. Well, go ahead and take this time to introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do here at Village Caregiving, where you work at Village Caregiving, how long you've been here.
Mm-hmm. I'm Leslie Luedtke, the executive director for Madison.
Okay.
And I started in November of 2021.
Wow.
So going on my 4th year.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Tenure.
Yeah. Welcome in. Who do you work with up there?
Lacey, the director of operations, and then Emily is our RN.
Awesome. Cool. And so you guys are there, University of Wisconsin, Madison. Mm-hmm. How are things in Madison right now, just generally speaking? What's your vibe with Madison?
I don't really go into Madison if I don't have to go into Madison.
You guys are south of Madison. They're outside the loop a little bit.
If you're looking at it as a personal perspective, I don't go in there. But for work, obviously, yes.
I got you.
But
just more hectic than you like?
Say
something nice now.
City. No, I always grew up in a city. But I think I'm not in the college town phase anymore.
I see.
So if I don't have to go down there, I'm not going to.
It's fun for a visitor. Central. When I came there and saw you recently, it was like, this is cool. Mm-hmm. Tons of stuff to do, places to eat. And then that Capitol Square around there and the hotels. I mean, it's a really, really beautiful city.
I've not been to every state capital. I will just clarify that. But of the state capitals I've been to, maybe the most beautiful campus.
I agree. It's nighttime, the way they light it up, looks great.
So pretty through there.
That vibe around there, it's like got a seriously happening vibe. Yeah. Like that Madison could become kind of what people look at Nashville right now, like the place you go to. Maybe it already is up in that part of the country, but like even on a national scale, like Austin, Nashville, like cool places to go. That's what Madison sort of feels like it is. Trajectory is like.
If the Badgers are better, it would be even more fun.
That's understandable, but it's beautiful. I was there like just a random day of the week. I was there a Monday night and I think maybe a Tuesday night, but a Sunday night, Monday night. But like I just go into dinner by myself. It was hard to get a table downtown. Like it was really busy. Just a random weekday night. It was. But such a beautiful area. The campus was beautiful, of course, and a lot of history there. But yeah, I thought Madison was cool. I had went to, we won't name the place, but they were telling me, you visit these cities, and usually the folks that are there, they kind of give you a heads up, like, hey, stay here, don't stay over there. I would do this, I would do that. And they had said, like, hey, maybe a little edgy in Madison. It can get a little sketchy at night downtown. And I'm like, so, I mean, here I am, Forrest Gump. I'm out on foot. I'm like, well, that's not that far. So I walk to dinner, and I'm looking at the Capitol. I'm taking pictures. I see the lakefront. So I walk down there further than it looked. It was kind of that Vegas feel. You're closer, but you're not. Hike down there, realize I'm pretty much by myself. I was like, well, this is probably what they're talking about, how you end up dead. Walk back, go to dinner, I'm like, well, I'll Uber back to the hotel. Still walk all the way back to the hotel. I'm blocks away. And I'm like, oh, this is great. And the next day I stop at a grocery store to grab some stuff and then head to the office to meet them. And I tell them, I'm like, man, that was a really nice grocery store. And they're like, yeah. And then I leave, and they're like, hey, is this the grocery store you went to? I'm like, yeah. And there was a dead body found there that day. It was
literally almost like the exact time. Like probably just
that body was likely in that closed dumpster while I was parked near that. I had nothing.
And that's not even the bad part. That's good. That's still good.
Yeah. If they have not solved that, I had nothing to do with that. Check the cameras. But no, it was just kind of they said, they're like, is this the one you were at? I was like, yeah.
Holy
So
smokes.
You made it to the office, so you weren't the culprit.
That's right. I was fine. Everything was good. So, but no, I had a great time there. It's where are you from? You said that you're in Madison now, but
From Milwaukee area.
from the Milwaukee area.
Originally, yeah.
What's the difference between Milwaukee and Madison? What's the big differences there? You don't have to say which one's better or anything, but
Well, I only lived like in a suburb of Milwaukee, so I just say Milwaukee to make it easy.
yeah.
But I like where I grew up.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of different dynamics there.
Yeah.
Lots of little different cities, where Madison is kind of the same feel, to be honest.
I see.
Because you have Madison, you have Oregon, Fitchburg, like the surrounding bigger cities still.
I got you. Cool.
I would not live in Milwaukee again, but
Yeah.
I would stay in Madison.
They have a great zoo. I know we talk about zoos on here a lot. Jeff.
The Henry Vilas Zoo in Madison is free.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow. Big zoo guy. You
I know.
can't. And when he goes to a town, he goes to the zoo. That's just who he is.
Well, you
It's
didn't
his
go to the
identity.
Madison one, and that was free.
Yeah. Free.
I blew it.
So 4 years in at Village Caregiving.
Going on, yes.
Going on 4 years. What did you do before this?
I worked in childcare as the director there.
I see. And that's how you met Lacey, is that right? You guys knew each other back
So we've
in the
known
day?
each other for probably 11 years. No,
Wow.
not 11. 10.
Got a decade of friendship going there. And Lacey had shared when I was up there that her and her spouse met at, what was it? The
Butterfest.
At Butterfest. So
What's
there's-
Butterfest?
Well, I mean, that's a Sparta thing. That's a up north thing.
You make butter, I assume.
I'm assuming, yeah.
It's
yeah.
a music thing, right? She
Yeah.
said it was mainly
Oh.
music and food. It's just a thing. It just happens to be called Butterfest. But she met her husband there, right? And so 10 years in a friendship, and you guys work together. How different is your Village Caregiving work relationship versus when you guys were?
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about my previous work. Sorry. No, good. A lot better, I think. I mean, we've always been pretty close, but she has a really good understanding of me and my personality, and she knows how to kind of offset that and take the control if I need that control taken away. So she can basically read me and just change things.
I got you. Just a lot of
help me
years
for the
working
better.
together.
Yeah.
Cool. She's great. Emily's great. We, when we were up there, we didn't get a chance to visit it, but Jeff, you probably know this about the Madison area. Just outside of Madison is home to the largest shoe store, largest shoe store in
It's in
potentially
Emily's
the world.
hometown.
Yeah. Emily lives right by it. Never goes there though. It's overpriced. She said,
Largest
I don't
shoe
know-
store.
Yeah, I'd have to ask her what the actual title is, but
How big we talking? Like football stadium? You
No.
walk in and just spend all day.
what did she say?
we did some
I've never
research
been
on it
there.
while we were on. They've never been.
Listen, okay, first off, there's always these crazy things I get told on here. Like somebody, who was it? Where were we talking last? Where they had made a Viking ship out of some wooden Viking
Yes,
ship, and they
that's in
sailed it
Fargo.
all the way over to Norway.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
Okay. Well, okay. I mean, that's a weird thing to make up.
Biggest shoe store in the world. Like anybody's even keeping track of that.
You have to count the shoes, and each pair counts as two. Two shoes.
You know, it just sounds.
I mean, it is.
It
true.
sounds
I've
ridiculous.
just never been there. It's in Mount. No, is it Mount Horeb? No, Black Earth.
Why?
Blacker.
Why
Black
would it
Earth.
be there?
Good question. We don't
is a
have
good
those
question.
They
answers.
don't even have population to support this.
They probably don't. You're right.
Now, if it's a shoe warehouse where they ship them all over the world, yep, to see Leslie saying no.
I don't think so.
It's
No,
just
it's
you
local.
walk in, the storefront. I mean, it'd be like if we had the world's largest canoe store
I was wondering what I
here in Huntington, West Virginia.
Yeah,
why?
huge.
We're not going to sell that many.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't manufacture.
I don't get it.
Okay. Let's talk about something way more important than that, and
Okay.
that's the Dells. I'd like to
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about the Dells of Wisconsin. Are you familiar with these?
Wisconsin Dells.
Yeah.
I've seen that exit when I drive through, but I've never gone, nor do I really know what they are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like the water park capital of the world, essentially.
okay.
But I mean, you have all these places everywhere. Great Wolf Lodge, all those types of places. But
Oh, Wisconsin Dells is a water park.
yeah, Well, it's a city, but
Well, right. That's what it's known.
it's a very
kind of-
touristy city in the summer months. So,
Picture Gatlinburg and Myrtle Beach relocate as one into Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
They basically, when they were describing what was there, I was like, oh no, I know this place. I've not physically been there, but I've been to its sisters many times.
Have you ever been to Myrtle Beach?
Yes, I did.
Have you been to Gatlinburg?
No.
Okay, so one frame of reference.
Yeah.
Do you think Wisconsin Dells is similar to Myrtle
No.
Beach? Right. I knew she was going to say that. What's the main difference
An ocean.
besides
Yeah.
the beach?
that
I
there's
mean,
no
the,
boardwalk.
the touristiness of it,
Yeah.
exactly.
There's no boardwalk. I mean, it's just like a strip of restaurants. I mean, you can go do like an adventure course, like all these weird things. Restaurants, like
Is there
Okay, hold
bowling.
on a second.
Yeah, come on.
I'm
there.
actually on his side because I'm not sure which of the two you're talking about.
but I don't like it's not like
Was that Wisconsin Dells you just
so
described?
like the boardwalk to
serious.
me. Okay, so the boardwalk could very well be like that, yes, compared to Myrtle Beach to Wisconsin Dells, because there is just like a lot of little nooks and crannies of things to do.
Is there putt-putt?
Miniature golf.
Yes. Oh, now don't start getting corrective on me.
Go-kart? Go-karts?
Go-karts.
Okay, this is the same place. It feels like the same place.
Could you
But
get
it's
an
on a river.
airbrush?
It's
Yeah,
on the
could you get an
Wisconsin River.
airbrush T-shirt by chance?
You can, yes, actually. So yes,
Well, it
it's
sounds
probably
fun.
very similar.
You would. I'm
Oh,
surprised
I
you
would-
don't move there.
Listen, I told her
We were like 20 minutes away too,
Yeah.
and I was like, I should have just kept driving.
when we were up there, they described this. I'm like, what is it? And they start describing it. I'm like, seriously, I was like, oh my God, this is Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Myrtle Beach. And so I told her we were on vacation a couple of weeks ago on a cruise, and we were talking to people, and they asked where I was from. I'm like, where do you think I'm from? They're like, Alabama. I'm like, Ohio. I know, close. And I was like, was it the accent? They're like, yeah. I was like, where are you guys from? They're like, Eau Claire. I was like, oh, cool. We have an office in Eau Claire. I was just in Madison not long ago. And I said, have you ever heard of the place called the Dells? They're like, yeah, we have a summer house there. And I asked them, I was like, have you ever been to Pigeon Forge? They're like, yeah. I was like, same place. They're like, it's flatter, not the mountain stuff, not the bear thing, but basically similar experience. So,
Leslie, let me ask you this question.
okay.
I mean, it's interesting because you're born and raised in Wisconsin, right? So, by the way, how many times have you been to West Virginia?
Just the once. Just
This
time.
is number 2, huh?
No, just this time.
This is the first time
Yes.
here? Well, we have to take you around on a tour. Do you, be honest now, have you ever heard of Pigeon Forge?
I have.
You have. Okay, so it's a known thing outside of just our little
It is
world here.
but minuscule. Like you don't talk about it often.
No, you wouldn't. Gatlinburg?
She said often.
Well, ever is what she was being polite.
Why?
What about Gatlinburg? Do you know where Gatlinburg is?
I do.
How do
I
you
actually
know
wa-
all this?
Well, I do. We wanted to take a trip there. We sound.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I just thought maybe it was one of those things where we think it's something, except then somebody that's 1,000 miles away. is
See, and
like,
I think the Wisconsin Dells is like nothing.
Yeah.
Because we would go there every single summer, multiple times.
I-
Our
you're-
kids love it.
I can say that if I went out here and asked 100 people, you're not going to get more than 10 that could tell you what that. I mean, heck, I didn't even know it was water parks. To
Yeah.
be honest, I mean,
Yeah.
But I am familiar with the city.
Right. Do you call miniature golf putt-putt? If we were going over to Chesapeake to play.
I would say, yeah, I would say putt putt. Probably.
Okay. Yeah. And do you ever
In Door County, they have places that they just name them that, like putt putt.
really?
But then it says miniature golf right underneath it.
Are there other things that you've heard us say that just makes no
There's
sense?
plenty of things, but
I love it. She's right.
This is so hurtful.
we had this conversation when you came to Madison too, though, like about like what you call a highway, what you call like when you gave me that
Oh
quiz.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Highways, freeways.
Well, there were a lot of things that were very similar though
Okay.
in that quiz.
Interstate 90. What do you call that road?
Highway 90, probably.
Highway
We don't really
90.
call things interstates.
Right. That's
So
a local
that's one of the
thing.
bigger.
Yeah.
Kitty Corner was popular.
Kitty corner.
What's that?
The building on the corner, that's Kitty
Oh.
Corner.
Okay. Wow.
Caddy corner.
Yeah, but kitty. Okay.
Kitty corner.
Kitty corner.
We'll get going on this and never get off.
I know. Yeah.
We before we do some fun stuff, let's hear a little bit about you, like who you are as a person. You know, we understand the role at this point, I think, right? You've been doing it for 3.5 years. But tell us a little bit about your family, free time. Let's get to know you some.
Sure. I met my husband in Ripon, and we have been married. May will be 11 years.
Wow, congratulations.
And we have 2 kids. Tegan is 7. Tegan is 9. Wow. Rory is 7. And they both go to the brand new school in Oregon, Wisconsin. It's fantastic. It's actually the only solar powered school in the U.S.
It's 100% solar powered.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Not sure I believe that either.
I
Oh
see.
my gosh.
This is where we go with life.
I'm sure it is. I'm kidding.
It is actually a really, really nice school. So that's nice that we have that security for our kids, and it's only 3 miles away from our house.
Well, I was just trying to think. I would imagine the first time that the parking lights don't come on in the evening, that Karen's on the Facebook group going, "See, told you, should have plugged it in."
But they do say that part of the, like when the sun, if there's snow and things like that too,
Yeah.
Part of the building will be completely not working 100%, and then the other part of the building will be.
Oh no.
So I don't know how they figure that out.
Yeah. Well.
But I have 2 chickens,
Wow.
2 dogs, 3 fish.
Are these chickens egg producing chickens? Because we're in a crisis.
I know. I texted my sister-in-law the other day, and I was like, I wanted to be like a dealer outside of my car, being
Yeah.
like, "Here, I got 2 eggs for you for $5." No, they don't really. We don't put like a heat lamp in the coop or anything, just
Yeah.
because I get nervous about that. But,
Okay.
So they don't lay in the winter, but
Yeah.
they just started because the weather was getting nicer.
So 2 chickens.
Do
Both.
they have names?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
We used to do that.
What?
Because I can't.
Okay.
We used to do that, and then when they would pass away or get
Wring their
the
neck.
circle of life.
Yeah.
Then my kids, I couldn't do that to my kids. I couldn't
Okay.
explain it. We did have one that we did name, and we had her for 6 years, and her name was Bubble Butt
Oh, BB.
Where'd that come
because
from?
it has a bubble butt.
It really did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you had 2.
And then my kids would learn the rap song Bubble Butt.
You have 2 chickens. Lacey had said this when I was up there, that you would get a horse if,
Oh my God.
like, you got to be careful because you'll just show up with one. The chickens are just, what do you do with them?
They're actually kind of worse than dogs.
Yeah.
They chase you around the yard waiting for food. They
Have
beg.
you ever had chickens?
Yeah.
I thought
That's
so.
why I was wondering. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. But you just have these 2, and you keep like a rotating 2. Like if these 2 don't make it through the summer, you're gonna get 2 more.
No, I don't think so. We
You're
started
not.
with 5.
Okay.
I think I'm going to be done after these 2 if
Really?
they do die.
I didn't know how
I can't
long.
keep up with them. Like, I'm the only one that takes care of him. My husband wants a goat, and I'm like, who's going to take care of the goat? Me.
Right.
And I don't want a goat because I don't need another thing to take care of.
Goats.
And what do you do with a goat? We already don't have grass.
Do you have a snake that hangs around, like a big black snake or anything?
No,
What kind of snakes you got up there?
just
man?
garter snakes that I've seen in my yard at least.
Yeah.
There's pine snakes.
Pine snake.
Do the chickens have predators up there for you guys? Do you have to worry about anything getting the chickens?
Yes, we've had a few instances.
Oh,
Like a possum, raccoon.
okay.
And we don't get snakes because my husband shoots the chipmunks. So it's like those 2 go hand in hand, I guess.
Holy cow! Did you know that?
Well,
So if you have chipmunks, yeah.
That's what lures the snakes in.
There's some stray cats around my house that sometimes keep you up at night.
Yeah.
But they keep the mice down, which keeps
Yep.
the snakes away, which is blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I see. You ever bring the chickens inside?
No.
Never. They ever run in on accident?
They try. Did
But
you?
chickens don't come in the house. I was
did
going to
you?
say.
Yeah, chicken. Well, so chickens, if you have
It can't be sanitary.
no, God no. That's what I'm saying. If you have a chick, and the rumor is the allegation against the baby chick is if a baby chicken uses the restroom on you, you're its parent. Like that's how it's like.
Is that a urban legend?
I think so.
Okay.
But like once a chick is like attached to you, it's following you everywhere. It is annoying.
We didn't start them from babies though. We got them when they were like a year
Okay.
or so.
Yeah, I mean, you go outside and these things are just following you everywhere. You're like, it's like a shadow that's really loud and annoying and scared of everything. So it's like jumping around. You're like, would you stop? Like, they're really. I had no idea they
They're
could
worse
live
than
to
my
be that
dogs.
old though. 6 years old with a chicken? That's a long time to have the same
Yeah.
one.
And I think my dog gave it a heart attack. Essentially, is what happened.
Really?
Yeah. You love my dog stories. Lacey loves my dog stories too. She wants a dog, but she will not get a dog because of my dog stories.
She has a dedicated turkey baster for this dog that tries to kill itself like once a week, and she has to do things to bring it back to life. And she has this. I know. It's odd.
The weekend before he came, or that weekend, my daughter left like a huge bowl of grapes on the couch. And I had taken her to this mini golf place, and I came home and the grapes were just gone. Obviously, he ate them, and they're toxic. And so I'm starting to panic because it was a lot of grapes. It wasn't just one. So I had to use...
Hold on. How did you come up with the turkey baster idea?
Well,
Where does this come into play? What do
my
you do
dog
with the
stories.
turkey baster?
Oh, I had to put hydrogen peroxide in the turkey baster and then shove it in his mouth to get the grapes to
You gotta
come
make
out.
the dog
Oh,
throw
you
up.
induced
Induced
vomit.
it. And I'm not going to take him to the vet
This is it.
and pay $100 when I could do it myself.
She had to do this before with this dog, so she was like,
Okay.
but we were joking about like when people come over.
Because
It's like,
Thanksgiving was right around the corner.
we're like, do you separate those turkey basters? This one is specific just for making
Yeah, okay.
little Fido go. And,
Well, that's smart.
yeah.
And it's safer.
Probably.
You saved time on the car ride to the vet.
That's right.
You're a vet.
He lived at the vet for a very long time. That dog is just something
What kind
else.
of dog did you say?
It's a pointer,
What kind?
German short hair.
You have a GSP.
But he...
Love that dog.
Well, he's like kind of a mix with lab, I think. I don't know.
Pretty dogs.
He has like a lymphatic system that doesn't work though.
I'm not making fun. It's just her story with this dog. It's better when Lacey's here to judge her through all of this.
Thanks for saying judging.
Can I ask you I'm going to ask you some dumb questions.
Oh,
but before
no.
that's a couple of serious questions. I want to give you a chance to talk about what do you think makes a person the best leader or manager of staff they can be?
Just being that leader and setting a good example. Definitely holding people accountable for their actions and what they do in the field and things like that too. Documentation is huge for me. Does that answer your question? He's still thinking.
I'm reading the other questions to see what I might want to ask next. What is one thing that you've learned recently that you feel is worth sharing, perhaps from a book, news story? Anything piqued your curiosity lately?
No, actually, not really.
What's been on your mind lately? Where you been living in
Life.
terms of like self-development?
I think that there's always room for growth, no matter what. And I think just every single day that you find something new about yourself or your family, and whether it's an extended part of your family or your immediate family, there's always somewhere to change and grow and like kind of look at those successes that you've had in the day and challenges and to kind of figure that out together.
Yeah. What is your favorite part of your job? How many caregivers are you and Lacey and Emily?
51, maybe now 50.
Okay, so 50 caregivers. That's a lot. Yeah. What's your favorite part of being their boss?
I like communicating with them. I just like hearing what they're doing on a daily basis because I'm not in their shoes. I never really have been in their shoes. You know, I worked with kids for so long, but it kind of is comparable, you know, but just hearing their day-to-day and understanding what they're doing and providing any support I possibly can and just listening to them.
Yeah. You hear a lot of great stories, don't you?
I would say, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Some heartwarming, some funny, cute, some hilarious. I mean, a lot of stuff happens in our industry, and it's real and really rewarding.
I like it when the clients actually call and share those stories as well, though, too.
Yeah.
It's just more meaningful to hear from them on a daily basis. And sometimes you don't hear from them for a couple weeks and you're like, can I have a update? Like, what's going on? So,
what part of your job gives you the feeling of being most proud? Like in your, in your career, what are the most proud moments that you have?
I've always wanted to care for people and be with people. So on a daily basis, in my opinion, just being there and being that support, having that caregiver ready and available.
Okay. I've got some serious questions out of the way.
Yeah.
Do you have any before we get to game time?
Nope. I think I'm good.
Okay, Leslie. I gave you a choice before if you would like to do dumb questions to ask your friends or advice column. You prefer the questions?
Sometimes those advice columns are a little nerve-wracking.
Well, that is
okay.
a lot.
Wow.
Okay.
I've never opened this. These are your. I'm going to give you a choice. Would you like animals, numbers, food, objects, famous people, or players? I really don't know what that means.
Ooh, well, I mean, could be anything.
I should probably go with animals with all my stories.
Yeah. And your time at the zoo. So are you going with animals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this.
Well, hold on, the answer may be on the back. Nope. Okay.
You can jump in on this too, Aaron.
I'm ready.
If you could scale up any animal to the size of a house, which would you choose? Make that little fella huge.
A house-sized.
It's funny.
I'm in.
Yeah, what do you got?
I'm going to go with a house-size panda bear.
That would be one cute
Oh, my goodness. I mean, just cute overload.
and could do damage.
Oh, you could destroy a whole village. Are you kidding me? A
You
house
see those videos where pandas are always falling over backwards
They're
out of
just
trees?
silly.
And everything? How do they not get hurt?
They're just silly. You know
think
what I mean?
break bones.
Well, the same way, kids fall out of stuff all the time. Hardly ever tear anything up.
What about a sloth?
Oh, boy. Rachel Brinkmeyer was on. She's a big sloth
We have a sloth
gal.
at our free zoo.
Look at that. How many? You know how many toes it has? That's very specific.
Nice.
It's like a camel on how many
Most of
humps
the
it
time,
has.
they're like just
Yeah.
not doing
A
anything.
south-sized sloth just move. It's like
So
that's a
slow.
horror movie.
Just so slow.
Okay, let me ask you this one.
Okay.
Leslie, what person in your life is most likely to stop you from eating your food until they've taken a photo of it?
My husband. Do you want? Because he cooks for everybody in our family. I don't cook.
Okay, so
He does take a lot of pictures of his food.
Does he? What's he do?
And I do too, though. But I put him on my Instagram.
Yeah.
But he takes it just to brag to everybody.
Really? Does he send them to people, or is he like,
He
"Hey,
sure
look what I
does.
made last night"?
No, he does. They have like a group chat for work.
Do you know this is it's kind of boring. I'll be really quick. I have this friend I don't get to see very often, and within the last year we were having. God, I did it to myself. Stop. We were having dinner one night, and he was taking a picture of the food. And for a living, he's in like real estate development and stuff, right? Taking like really good pictures, like, hold that light, like get your light like on
Yep.
there. And I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's a good question.
And just out of nowhere, it turns out that this person that I've known for a while has like a massive following of just looking at food pictures on his Instagram. I'm talking like huge. Isn't that weird?
I mean, when you look at a recipe, that's immediately what you look at is how they present it. And does it look good or does it not look good?
Yeah, and it was like reviews of restaurants kind of went hand in hand, and so the pictures were super important. Anyways, I told you it was boring. Do you think that you could get Aaron Gustin to do an accent for us? I don't know what you'd have to offer because he's not going to.
I don't do. Yeah, everything comes out pirate, so
Take
it's
$1 million.
yeah, it's just worthless to even do.
Just pick another one of those.
See, you have an accent to me though already.
Yes, that's if you want me to do Forrest Gump, I've nailed it.
Is this the one he's been doing for it? Like, we don't know his real voice?
What if I start talking? I'm like, all right, you guys want to hear how I really sound? And I'm British. This entire time you didn't know.
You know, Matt and I had this running joke, like in our consulting firm, we used to have, like, if we just went to people that we had worked with for a decade and just be like, you didn't know we was British, did you? And just kept this going for like all day, weeks, months. What if you did that?
It'd be Danielle would be the most surprised because I've put on the pirate long enough.
What if Aaron had a British accent from now on? We would think either he was a mastermind at doing this or he has literally lost his mind.
Right, I would say lost.
Clinically insane.
Yeah.
Do you want numbers, food, or objects, or famous people?
Give me a famous person out there. I want to hear what a question is about a famous person. This isn't trivia. This is... Okay.
Oh, I misread that. Which famous person do you think the other person looks like?
Oh,
God.
That's fun.
This is so
I don't know
hard.
people's names very well though. Like,
I would never be able to come up with a guess like this for anybody. I mean, you'd have to really look like them. I'm not good at that. I don't envy you. This is one where if we were on Watermelon, I would lose.
I don't
That
know
got
people's
me a
names
little
very
bit
well.
scared.
Has people told you that you look like a celebrity? Like you have a
I
celebrity
was
look
going to
like?
ask you if we could reverse that and do that question.
Yeah, you can't hurt my feelings.
People have said Kate Hudson before.
Okay.
And then
See,
Julia Stiles. That
I
was
don't know who that is.
the girl from Save
I
the
can
Last
see
Dance.
that, yeah.
Not Kate Hudson. I wish I looked like Kate Hudson.
I've always aligned more with Fred Savage from Wonder Years. I look similar to him at different points in my life.
I love that show.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and then Karate Kid Ralph, as he's gotten older, him and I look more alike. So, I mean, neither are sex symbols. So it's not bragging. You know what I mean?
That's probably going to get us sued. Can't do that. Well, now I've got to say it. If you were working in a restaurant, which famous person would you dread serving most? Don't even go there. There's no point to that. This game's meant to be done, not being filmed. Okay, this is good.
Okay.
If you could interview a famous person about their life, who would you choose?
Ooh.
I'm going to have to say it. Jordan Love, honestly, because my son is so addicted to football that I would like to know more.
Packers quarterback, for those listening,
Yeah.
not football fans.
Who you going with? It's got to be a celebrity. It can't be.
About their life.
I guess would you consider Jordan Love a celebrity then?
I saw him on Netflix once. I have two guys that I think I would like to talk with for different reasons, but very similar, I think.
Could you buy me a second? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. I'm somewhere between, if I had to pick right now, Tom Hanks. Love to just talk to him. I think he'd be a fascinating interview. And I heard an interview with him recently. It was pretty funny, so I know he would be playful during it. Or Ron Howard. To hear his childhood. Andy Griffith is like your TV dad. Barney's there, and then everything that he's done since then. How he kept his sanity in the industry, all that stuff. I think he'd be you don't hear a lot of interviews with him. So
I never watched that show.
really.
My dad did.
Well, okay. That's ageism. Whatever. You're not going to give us a celebrity?
I can't think of anything. Name an object you always have in your bag.
AirPods.
I was going to say my CPR tool. I don't even know what it is, to be honest.
CPR tool?
Emily gave
That's
me
your hands and mouth.
No, she gave me a little to go with, I think it's a mask, a one-time use mask.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I see. To keep
She made it very clear that I had that in my purse at all times.
Wow. Good for her.
Do you want food or numbers?
Food.
What is the ultimate picnic food?
Strawberries.
Oh.
Good. Good call.
I'm going to say, because of the kids, Uncrustables.
Are those good?
They drive me nuts, though, because you can make them for so much
I know.
cheaper.
They're not as good as a classic peanut butter
No.
and jelly, but they're almost a different thing.
Do your kids eat them frozen too?
Yeah, absolutely. You take them to the beach frozen, and then depending on how long they can make it,
Yep.
depends if they're thawed out or not.
My daughter had one Saturday morning. I watched it, but I've wondered about. I've never had one before.
They're interesting because
And you can buy the cookie. You can buy the cutter to make them yourself, like legitimately. You just need to learn how to do the packaging now.
Yeah, well, you got
You could
they're
fool your
kind
kids
of
and save
balled
some money.
up too. They're almost like there's an in between there that somehow is inflated.
I want to see just what numbers even means
Yeah,
exactly.
Don't be scared. Just read it.
On a scale of 0 to 10,
Okay.
how Monica from Friends are you? 0, disorganized and messy AF. 10, rules help control the fun.
Yeah, I'm probably an 8 on
I was
the
going to
Monica
say
scale.
9.
I'm probably more similar to her than anyone else on that cast.
Yeah.
I don't like being unorganized. I don't like it messy.
I wish I could be contrary, but I'm kind of like you guys too. Yeah. All right, last one.
Okay.
Ready? You got to think back in your past for this, okay? What is the weirdest food that you have ever eaten? Leslie Luedtke.
Bone marrow.
Okay.
For me, it's literally
Say
the
more.
weirdest.
Where they have the bones split in half and you dig it out of there.
But it's so good. But it's weird.
It is
I
weird.
literally got it in front of me and I was like, it looks like something my dog would eat. But it's delicious.
I was watching a show the other day and they were talking about where you get that bone marrow from, and it was like in one part of the animal, and I was like, how come you can't just do any of it? Is it really only in one spot?
I would have to say
Get
it's probably
some
only one spot.
Facts on that? I mean, it's a bone. I don't know. It was an old like no reservations where they were serving that dish. Do you have a weirdest food you've ever eaten?
Yeah,
Was
I
it
think
last
it's
week?
last podcast. Yeah, also similar to dog food, potted meat. So there's that. Didn't have to go too far back in my past. Come to find out.
Okay, well, those questions weren't dumb.
No.
I mean, a couple of them were kind of dumb. All right, I'm out. It's good.
Well, cool. Well, we've come to the end of the time. Was there a chance that you wanted to leave us with a song?
No.
Okay. Well, then we'll probably just do a cheers and move on.
Smart. Cheers, Leslie. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for making the trip down.